What if your body wasn't broken? It just doesn't know what time it is. Have you ever felt like you're doing everything you can to heal, trying different diets, supplements, routines, but your energy is still off and your body just feels out of sync? If that's you, you're definitely not alone. So many women with lupus and autoimmune conditions are stuck in these cycles of fatigue and flares without realizing how much their internal rhythm might be playing a role. Welcome back to the Health Bridge podcast. I'm your host, Holly B. I help women with autoimmune conditions get out of chronic fatigue and flare up cycles so they can feel more stable, calm, and connected to their lives again. Today's episode is a little bit different. I was invited onto Tenille Stewart's podcast, Happily Healed with Tenille. And after this conversation, I knew I wanted to share it with you here. Tenille was also a recent guest on this podcast, and in this episode, she has me break down my 20-year healing journey, why so many women feel stuck even when they're trying everything, and how something as foundational as your circadian rhythm or your body's internal clock can impact your energy, immune system, and overall healing. We also get into simple, practical ways to start supporting your body without trying to change everything at once. So stick around because this episode might just change the way you think about your healing and help you start working with your body instead of against it.
Hello, I am Tenille. I help women diagnosed with lupus go from confused and discouraged to healed, hopeful, and in control of the medical narrative. And we're back with episode 152, and we have a special guest. I'm excited. Okay, so I met this woman doing a collective. So it was a bunch of us loopies doing activity to help other loopies or chronically ill people in general who need us. And we all have our special skill set. Now, everyone was diagnosed and had at one point or another had some serious problems. However, my friend Holly, Holly was she's an OG in the disease and OG in helping people doing this recovery and chronic wellness thing. Let me see. I wrote down many things to say about her that are nicer than what I just said because I'm just speaking off the top of my heart. But Holly is, let me get a good recap of her millions of titles. She does kind of everything. And she's just the opposite and equal of what we do here. She has her own podcast that I was on 2 weeks ago, question mark. Oh no, I want to say her proper title. Y'all, I have a really good one. I write too many notes at once. Okay. But today we're going to be talking about circadian rhythm and autoimmune recovery just in general. She's like a wealth of knowledge on so many things, so we had to whittle it down to what are we going to talk about? Hi guys, welcome in. Dang, I had such a good intro. Okay, it's fine. You're gonna see how amazing she is, and you're like, yeah, obviously, we know you only pick good guests. I know. All right, so please welcome the amazing, the incomparable, the most magnificent Holly to the stage.
Hi, everyone.
Hi, Holly. Sorry, I messed up the intro. I wrote a really cute one. And I was excited, and I should have just knew that I wouldn't find a note. That's okay. Please introduce yourself. Let everybody know who you are, where you're from, and what you do.
Definitely. Hi, everyone. I'm so excited to be here. I just had Tenille on my podcast a couple weeks ago. So after you watch this live, you should definitely go over and find her interview. We had a great talk. But I am Holly B. I help women with lupus or other autoimmune conditions who are constantly in that chronic fatigue, flare up hamster wheel, who just feel burnt out from managing symptoms. I help them get more stable, get more calm, and be able to tap back into their inner light again so that they can make a huge difference in the world because so many women are struggling with autoimmune conditions. And I feel like if we can help these women get better, get more stable, have a more solid foundation on which to you know to move from on a daily basis, have more tools in their tool belt to manage symptoms when they do come up. These women could change the world. We just need to get them to that point. So that's my mission behind helping all these women with autoimmune conditions. I also have a podcast called the Health Bridge Podcast. And as a random side note, I also have a jewelry brand called Holly B Designs.
I told you. I just told you. She knows everything. It's amazing. I'm so excited to have you here. Okay. So now let's do a little snippet of your lupus story because it's an incredible story. All of our in that group, all of our stories are pretty incredible. So please run us down how you got diagnosed and stuff like
Sure. So my story started about 20, a little over 20 years ago, actually. In my early 20s, I was taken down by a really bad case of mono. Most
that.
people get mono when they're a kid. I didn't get mine until I was out of college. And hindsight 2020, I know now that there was a whole bunch of emotional stuff going on behind the scenes. Also, I apologize if you can hear background noise. I had to sit up at work today instead of my normal home office.
Right, right. See, I told you, California is doing their lunch with us today. Well, normally I ask everyone else, but it's fine. We're doing great. Go ahead.
So anyways, lots of emotional baggage that led up to being hit unexpectedly with mono, which took me down hardcore for about a month and a half. And after that, I just couldn't quite get back to my normal self. I
Mm.
couldn't regain my energy. Eventually, when all my blood work was looking normal, as I'm sure we've all heard
Right.
before, the doctors just said, "Well, we're just gonna say you have chronic fatigue syndrome, and it'll probably get better in the next 2 years."
Oh,
And that was all I was left with. So,
wow. For 2 years, they were like, chronic
yeah,
fatigue, you're fine.
yeah, yep.
Wow.
And, after that, I basically realized quickly that I was on my own to try to figure out, how I was gonna help myself because the doctors obviously didn't know anything about this.
Yeah.
So, I went on a very long, meandering path, trying out different modalities and things, to see what was gonna help me feel better.
Mhm.
I started studying Western herbalism. So I went through a little mom and pop school here in San Diego, which was awesome. Started working within the herbalism realm. Still felt like everything I learned and everything I was doing should be helping me more than it was.
Right.
It seemed to help everybody else that I was helping, but it didn't seem to help me move the dial as much as I thought it should.
Exactly.
So
Hey
I
guys,
continued. Go ahead.
there's questions already. Um, so watch the replay so you can answer these questions are answered. But we got Holly Beck in the house. She helps women with lupus also, and we're just getting her story right now. That's what's going on. Don't panic. I know it's 3 o'clock, but I'm doing a second live for the day. Nobody panic. We're doing great. Okay, go ahead.
So I just continued going down different paths, continued doing as much herbal stuff as I could possibly do in any given day, focused on a lot of plant-based healing, and finally found a good rheumatologist after going through some naturopaths and different things. I finally found out I was on the autoimmune spectrum. This is like years later, right?
Oh my
And
gosh.
didn't present specifically as any one thing, just knew I was under the umbrella of lupus or rheumatoid arthritis, uh, technically mixed connective tissue disease, but he told me it would present eventually as one or the other, lupus or RA. So we are sort of in a waiting game while also being proactive with doing integrative supplementation. I didn't do any medication with him. But for me, chronic fatigue was the biggest thing. I could
Okay.
still generally get through work, but fatigue was always hitting me. Like that's all I had, energy for.
Yeah. That's crazy. Like people don't understand that regular fatigue, people think they know what being fatigued feels like. And then when you get chronic fatigue, when you're diagnosed with chronic fatigue, or before that, when you realize what it is, I always say it's laboring to blink. So something that you're supposed to be able to automatically do every day and not think about it, it feels hard to do that. So literally, you want to just lay with your eyes closed, even if it's not to sleep. You're just so exhausted by doing everyday regular stuff. So she's diagnosed with little itty bitty breadcrumbs of you have maybe a little bit of this, a little bit of that, like a lot of us were. So how long did it take you to get to the lupus diagnosis?
I didn't officially get diagnosed until 2018. Yeah, and keep in mind this started in early 2000s.
What?
Yeah,
That's insane.
yeah.
Oh my
So
god.
and I ended up actually getting diagnosed by my dermatologist. I had had a bout of alopecia way back before mono. I got alopecia spot on the top of my head where I lost hair and went to the dermatologist. They're like, "Oh, it's just alopecia. We'll give you some injections." And the hair grew right back. So I didn't think anything of it. Now, of course, I realize that that is all stress related,
Yeah.
or largely, at least it was for me, all stress related.
Yeah.
And I was going through a period where I was very stressed again. I really had lost a lot of hope for my future. I didn't really know what to expect for
Mhm.
myself. And we went on a trip to Kauai, which was amazing. We
Like,
were out in the sun a lot.
less sun.
And yeah, and I never reacted to the sun before, but we got home and I'm never depressed to go home to San Diego, but I was legitimately depressed
Oh,
coming back home from that trip because I felt so physically good while we
yeah.
were on vacation there.
Yeah.
So we came back, I'm depressed, and all of a sudden my hair starts falling out in the same spot. And I ignored it and I ignored it and I ignored it for a really long time because I
Mhm.
was trying to go through this rheumatologist and figure out other things and blah, blah,
Yeah.
blah. By the time I finally did go to get it checked out, expecting them to be like, "Oh, we'll just give you the same injection as I had last time, and everything will be fine." They're
Mhm.
like, "We're gonna biopsy this, and guess what? You have lupus,
Oh my
and your
gosh.
hair, and your hair is not going to grow back. It's you waited too long." So
What?
I know.
Okay. Okay. I have listen, I want you to get to what you came to talk about, but I have so much to say
I'm
about
here for all of it.
crazy. Like we I want to say that it could be possibly to give benefit of the doubt that it just science elevated and they knew more at your doctor's office. So maybe they genuinely just didn't know what they didn't know, and then that's why they just kind of brushed everything off. However, that's a really long time to
Yeah,
be so clueless about what's going on with your body. And I feel like they do that to so many people. So many women are like, they're just like, yeah, it's whatever, you're fine. Like, it's probably this, it's probably that, or whatever. And they don't do the research, they don't take the biopsy, and they don't do the blood work. What in the world? Were you like, when you found out? I'm so sorry, this is tangent time. When you found out, were you super mad, or were you like, okay, this is good, at least I know?
I was relieved. I was like, "Oh my god, I have a diagnosis. Now I can figure out what to do."
Okay. That a girl. That a
It's
girl.
it's an odd reaction
Right.
compared to most, but yeah, that was my reaction. Really quick, Holly B here. I just wanted to interrupt the podcast to ask you for a quick favor. Can you take just a moment to like and subscribe to this podcast on whatever platform you are listening in on? It makes a world of a difference. And the reach of this podcast, it takes like literally under 10 seconds. So go do that right now. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And now back to the episode.
No, you get it's a choice. It's 100% a choice because like there are the type of people that are gonna be mad no matter what. Like they find out like what's wrong with them. They're like, this is terrible. Or there's people that are gonna be like, okay, I have a baseline. I have somewhere to go. And the reason why I asked you that is because it's kind of obviously that you figured like now I can take action. And that is kind of the vein that we both work in. It's like you don't get hopeless, you get creative, you get hopeful, you get excited that there's action you can take because you know what's going on. And now you get guidance from Holly or I to help you figure out what you can do.
Yeah.
So, all right. So we'll get to the circadian rhythm. Okay. Okay. I'm sorry. It's such a tangent. Okay. So, um, you have studied all these things. You have all of these little, like, not little, sorry, not the right way. Like all these, like, you know, different
Interrelated.
focuses,
Yeah.
yeah, that, I they're like micro focuses or like, it cannot be because it is such a multifaceted disease and disorder. It cannot really be like, I do this one thing and it fixes everyone because it presents so differently in every single one of us. So, where did you figure out this circadian rhythm helping chronic illness in general? Or like what led you there?
Sure. Well, I didn't get there until more recently, to be
Oh,
honest.
okay.
Um, in the last, I would say 2 years is when this really came to light for me. If you'd
Okay.
ever talked to me about my sleep cycles or
Right.
anything like that,
Right.
you hear about nutrition and you hear about, what supplements and vitamins are you taking and, de-stress. And sure, all of that makes a huge difference. But when I started paying attention or learning about circadian rhythm, which is kind of a buzzword right now, so many people have heard of it, but they probably just think that means, you know, what their sleep cycle is, like when they go to bed or when they wake up. There's
Mhm.
a lot more to it.
Ah,
So I'll dial it in, as simple as I can for you guys, but, and I'm still learning the ins and outs of it, but when I did change my morning routines and my evening routines to accommodate for a better circadian rhythm, my energy got better. There's a few other
okay.
things that helped my energy got better too, like you said, there's no one thing that fixes something like lupus.
Right.
There's several important things that if we do all together
Yeah.
and we slowly integrate all of the pieces,
Yeah.
they all combined make a huge difference.
Such a difference. It's good. So that I love that you brought that up because I people get excited, right? When they want to take control of their lives again and be like, okay, I have a choice. Either I can be super crazy sick all the time and just take all this medicine and be sad about it, or I can try things, attempt to integrate things. The issue lies in let's do it all at one time, and then if it doesn't work, then nothing works and everything's terrible. This is not this is not the method. Nobody that I know prescribes that method. Nothing. Um, it's definitely a trial and error thing. And it's not even a trial and error, it's a trial and learning thing because everyone's body is not going to participate in every modality of healing. And that's fine. That doesn't mean anything's wrong with you. It means you get to learn about your own body and what your body responds to better. And as you age, it will change. And you get to uh, challenge your former self with your new self and say, hey, something's changed. And I'm going to do a little bit of this, a little bit of that, a little bit differently with some guidance from this person or that person or the other person. Right. So, um, so how you got into it about 2 years ago. What prompted you to get into your morning routine, night routine changing?
Well, I grew up in the restaurant industry,
Okay.
so I grew up working late nights. Sometimes I wouldn't get home until 3 in the morning. I'd be
Right.
up till 4 in the morning.
Right.
The last 10 years or so, it was more like, getting to bed maybe around midnight or so.
Mhm.
And I could just tell over, the last few years of that my body didn't wanna do that anymore.
Right.
Like, I still liked the industry, I still have so much love for it.
Yeah.
I still dabble in it here and there and help and, do some special events and things like that, but,
Mm.
um, consistently being up late was really wearing on me, and,
Mhm.
in that time, I started, I don't know, people popping up on my Instagram feed that were talking about circadian rhythm. So I started paying attention and started taking some little courses from them and learning through a few people that I really respect that were talking about how your body is based on a 24-hour master clock.
Yeah.
And this isn't just humans, this is all living beings.
Mhm.
We all have a 24-hour circadian rhythm, all based on the sun,
Right.
all
Right.
based on what hour it is of the day and what light is coming through.
Mhm.
And so when our clock is off, when our personal body clock is off, that means our immune system gets confused. All of our
Mhm.
hormones, everything gets totally confused and out of whack. And if you're talking about autoimmune disease, like to me, this just makes so much sense. Autoimmune disease is simply a miscommunication in the body.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
on its base level, it's just a miscommunication
Mhm.
and a mistiming and a misfiring of things. And so if we can work on the cellular level, which is what circadian rhythm affects. It affects you on the cellular level, then we can start reestablishing those communication lines.
Right.
And slowly inflammation can go down, sleep can get better, energy can rebuild, cells start talking to each other again, body systems start functioning again.
Mm.
And it is like one of those core base foundational things that you need to have in place in order to heal and in order to allow the supplements and the nutrition and all those other things actually take their full effect.
Right, right. That's the thing too that people don't realize. Like they're like, "Oh, I'm doing this thing. I'm eating properly." But if you don't sleep and don't recover and you don't drink enough water, then that is kind of canceled out. It's not completely canceled out. Like do something
Right.
today and do nothing. However, doing one part of the puzzle, you're still missing pieces. There's huge gaps that your brain and body can be confused about. So, if you are going to sleep at 4 in the morning, when were you waking up?
Like noon.
Okay, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So I was watching a podcast the other day, and the doctor said, I don't even know if he's an actual doctor, but anyway, he said there's a 12 once you wake up, look at the sun or like look in
Yep.
sunlight. So then it'll give your body a 12-hour countdown to where it'll start winding down after 12 hours. So 13 hours, I think he said. Which makes a lot of sense, except for like it's wintertime. So like what
Mhm.
you I don't have that much sun like around here.
You don't need direct sun, like a cloudy day.
Okay, yeah.
As long as you can tell that the sun is in the sky, as long as it's somewhere between daybreak and nightfall,
Okay. Yeah.
it doesn't matter how much of the actual physical sun you're seeing.
Super, super.
Yeah.
Okay. So now you realize that you need a morning routine. I'm sorry, I sound exasperated, but it's because like I have so much I want to ask you. And I'm like, I cannot keep this woman who's at work here trapped in my podcast. Okay.
I
So
got I got a long lunch break, so don't you worry.
okay.
Yeah.
So now what does your morning routine look like? You get up, you look at some kind of sunlight, I guess. And
Mhm.
how does that go?
Yeah, I mean, obviously everything fluctuates throughout the year. We have more sun sometimes, less sun other times. And people have work schedules, so, we work within the parameters we work with, but, I get up now, and I never thought I would love getting up around sunrise ever in my life.
Ew, Holly, ew. I like that.
I know, but I actually and honestly, I got here because of a job change. Now I have a day job, right? So I have
Wow.
to get up early, but, I love it so much, and I get up so okay, my routine is before I even get out of bed, I do a little gratitude practice, I pray, so I'm already setting my mindset, right, before my feet hit the floor.
Yeah.
But as soon as I'm out of bed, I go to the kitchen, I hydrate, I take the few supplements that I take, and I go out like, I turn the tea water on to boil, I go outside, no matter what the weather is, and
Mhm.
I just get that natural light in my eyes.
Mhm.
Certain parts of the year, it's still dark, so I will just turn on very, very dim lights, like, I have those, electric candles or battery candles, so I'll
Yeah.
just put some of those on throughout the house because I don't wanna blast myself with fake fluorescent or blue light before
Mhm.
the sun's even up. I don't wanna stare at my screen before the sun's up because that's giving me blue light, right?
Yeah.
Very important, and we can get more into that, but, But anyways, I go outside just even if it's just for, like, 2 minutes,
Mhm.
just to get
Wait,
that natural light exposure into my eyes.
outside? Well, I
Mhm.
can stand in a window. Holly,
You
you're
can as long as the window's open, you can do that. But you gotta open the window.
oh, man.
Bundle up, whatever you gotta do.
Oh,
But
man.
it
Okay.
needs to be natural light, not filtered.
Yeah, okay, so that's why I have a lamp, or I have a, what is it called? A alarm clock that does sunrise, and I'm
Mhm.
like, "That's kind of the sun, sort of." I know it's not the same, but it's kinda, sort of. I'm working on it. See, I
One thing
have you on here because I this year is my year of, working on my sleep hygiene. I confession, y'all, stop don't judge me. Take your judgment back right now. Hold them in. Hold them in yourself. Um, I go to sleep around 2, and I wake up around 8. And that's 2 a.m. and 8 a.m. That's my general schedule. Not on purpose, question mark, not like really, but like it kind of is how, like, even if I don't set an alarm, I
It's
kind of
just
just,
what your body's used to.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I know this can't be exactly how I should be doing the day. And some days I'm way more tired than others. And when there's a demand for me to wake up at what the F o'clock in the morning, I struggle. Like I have a few things I do. I play like ratchet music so I can dance or something to get me awake, because otherwise I will not do it. But yes, I would love to have a morning routine, but to get I mean I have one, but it's just not ideal, question mark, you know?
Yeah.
So what
So
is
a
your
good
go ahead.
I was gonna say a good night routine
I was
is
gonna
going to help your morning routine and vice versa, you
Mhm.
know?
Yeah, I was gonna say, what is your night routine that gets you primed for your morning routine?
Dim lights again. So once the sun is down, and it's dark outside, you don't want lights blaring throughout your house. I still need to transition to actual red lights,
Mhm.
because that is the ideal. But we have dim lights and we have the light bulbs that are not the blue light, the daylight filter, or the daylight bulbs.
Mhm.
Those put off blue light. So you turn those on at 10 or 11 at night, your eyes, that light goes in your eyes and it's going to trigger your system to be like, wait a minute, I thought I was winding down, but now it looks like it's noon.
Oh,
So,
no.
yeah.
Oh, no.
And when we're staring at the TV or we're staring at our screens, if unless we have blue light blocking filters on them, that's what you're doing. So you're completely giving totally confused signals.
My glasses have blue light blockers. Maybe maybe my
Not
glasses.
enough, but we can
Mhm.
get you some. We can get you some.
Ah,
Yeah.
Holly, I know that I asked you to be here, but you're kinda ruining my life. I'm just kidding. Lori
Trust me, I hear that a lot. But you know what? It's one thing at a time. You don't need to shift everything at once, right?
Alright.
Like, let's start with one little thing, then we can implement the next little thing. It's like, I know all this stuff. I still haven't changed to red light bulbs in my bedroom. You know what I mean? So it's
Right.
step by step. It's step by step. But just to like drive home just a little bit of the science behind this is um, that the master clock, that 24-hour cycle that's literally in your brain
Mhm.
that responds from the sun. It's a fancy word that you can wow your friends with if you can remember it. It's called a superchiasmatic nucleus. It's really fun to say.
Superchiasmatic nucleus.
Yes.
Wow.
Whether you remember that or not doesn't really matter. Just what you have to understand is that is triggered and given its messaging through your eyes, right? So sunlight literally through your eyes. So even when we're wearing, and I wear glasses too, even when we're wearing our regular glasses, those have some UV filtration on it. So preferably in the morning and throughout the day, we can get outside without the glasses just for a few minutes, just to get
Mhm.
the full direct light into our eyes to
Mm.
really make sure that our body understands what time of day it is, what hormones should be firing, because this clock, this suprachiasmatic nucleus, it regulates our cortisol rhythm, our
Mhm.
melatonin release, it helps our immune system activate. It helps to regulate our body temperature. That's still one that I'm working on. Digestion, it helps to regulate digestion. As
Mhm.
a side tangent, everybody's so excited about all these peptides and GLP-1s and Ozempic and all these things. Do you know that those are actually amino acids which we should be producing within our body naturally?
I
And
did know that. I did.
I figured you did, but a lot of people don't. They sound like medications, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
That are something synthetic. Well, we should be able to be making these on our own. And if we are not regulating our circadian rhythm and our digestion is off, we're more likely to have leaky gut and we're much less likely to be making those, GLP-1s on our own.
Mhm.
And, maybe if we regulated these other things, yes, it's maybe a little bit more work, but
Yeah.
we wouldn't have to rely on all these synthetic injectables. Hey, I just wanted to jump in here and interrupt the program for just a hot minute. You know that I'm so passionate about this podcast, but what I'm also really passionate about is helping women with lupus minimize their symptoms, boost their energy so that they can indulge in life again. So if you are a woman who is struggling with lupus, who is sick and tired of being sick and tired, who's struggling to manage your flares, if you're finding that your lupus symptoms are just really getting in the way of you being able to live your life the way you want to, I feel you. I've been there myself and I felt the same way. And what I've found is that there are a certain set of health fundamentals that once applied, will support you in your foundational health. They will support you in building and maintaining that energy, minimizing flares, and allowing you to, again, indulge in life and follow your passions. So, if that is something that you are interested in creating for yourself, let's jump on a call together. I will walk you through the process that I use with my clients to get them from sick and tired to strong foundation of health by implementing my health bridge protocol. If this is something you're interested in chatting more about, I would love to talk to you. Apply for a free clarity call with me, and I look forward to getting to know you soon. And now back to the episode,
Yeah. It's the microwave of it, the microwave of it all. Like,
right?
people just want it to be quick, and,
And
I promise you people, your body, your life is the best and most exciting project you will ever work on. Like, in the grand scheme of things, you could potentially, with everything wrong, with every single thing wrong, potentially, you could look exactly the way you want, feel exactly the way you want. You could have pristine health if you figure out your own body and your own mind, what's going to push you to do things, or what you tend to like to work towards better, or like how you like to sleep. There's a science behind it all, and we're just geeky enough to like be invested in it, right? Since everyone doesn't want to do that, just like come get some instruction or whatever. Like, I understand that it's not everyone's cup of tea. Like, I love it. Cite your sources. Tell me what doctor said it. Show me the study. Like, I'm down. I just understand that that's not everybody, and that's fine. It's still a worthy investment, to make the life that you want. And like, we found so many ways to help you figure out how to make the best of you at this point. Um, I did that this morning, the sunlight thing. I didn't like
good.
it. It wasn't my favorite because I've been traveling. I got home last night, and I woke up so tired at my regular time. I woke up so tired. My eyes did not want to open. So I like stood, I didn't go outside, but I stood by my door with like a big window, and like going and tried to look towards the sunlight as much as possible. And I felt like I can feel something is happening. It's not like I'm like, hopefully I'm not poisoning myself with sun or something, but I felt like more waking up happening than
Yeah.
before that. So I do believe in it, and there is so much science behind it. Um, we've had a good solid 30 minutes. Thank you. I'm gonna read some of the comments, and then we will start the wrapping up. Okay.
Okay.
Great afternoon from Strong Island in New York. Hello, hello. All these, what's going on? I mean, who is this caption? Somebody, she's cute. Someone named Mr. Someone E9 me. You.
Thank you.
Value. Yay. I'm so glad you're here. That is a long time with the cry emoji. Wow. You both are warriors. Yes, we are. Lupus warriors. We in it. Somebody said, no, cry emoji. I don't know what that was too. Probably taking forever to be diagnosed and whatnot. What an incredible story shared today. Thank you for sharing. Somebody said hello. Hi. The sun gives forth so many valuable necessities to the body, for the body. Yeah, it really does. It really does. We were born to be in the sun. We were born to, I mean, wear your sunscreen. Something that's not gonna screw up. Um, I know it has to be specifically like a mineral would be good. Something that's not gonna have all kinds of weird poisons in it.
Do you want me to go on a little tangent on that?
Tangent number 2, go.
Okay, I know there's probably a lot of lupus warriors that are listening to this, in which case you're like, are you crazy? I can't go in the sun. I promise you that you can do it safely. And no, I don't like sunscreen. I will only use sunscreen, a safe variety, if I'm out midday for an extended amount of time.
Mm.
I would much rather wear a hat so that my eyes can still see the sun, but still let some of my skin get exposed to the sun, even if I have to keep that short, right? I know that some people are hyper sensitive to the sun.
Yeah.
At this point, I will intentionally go out and sit out midday sun for like 15-20 minutes. Intentional.
Wow.
Yeah.
Holly, you're not I have a lot more melanin than you is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
How do you not burn stuff?
Well, there's so many layers to all of this, and I want to finish that tangent, but part of me not burning anymore and not overreacting is cutting out seed oils out of my diet.
Oh,
So that's
okay,
a whole nother
okay.
aspect.
Oh my gosh, we have got like 17 podcasts, but I have so much different things about that. Okay. When you go out in
Um,
the sun, you can't
yeah,
go out in the city. You don't do sunscreen for the most part.
for the most part, yeah. Obviously, if I'm going to be extended, I'm going to have common sense and cover up when needed. But I very much intentionally try not to unless I have to because I don't want the extra chemicals in my skin
Yeah.
and I don't want the healing sun rays to be stopped from talking to my cells and telling them what time it is.
Okay.
So if you are hypersensitive, what I'd like you to do is start with the morning sunlight exposure. And that's within the first 2 hours between sunrise and fast forward 2 hours. That's before the sun gets to the high UVA and UVB, right?
Mhm.
That's the healing red light. We want that to touch our skin. We want that to be seen through our eyes. Also, I'm not saying stare directly at the sun. I just mean be outside where there's nothing filtering you from natural light.
Yeah, please don't do
That's like,
that. I
yeah,
sadly we have to say that because don't come try to sue me because you stared into the sun.
exactly.
Our thoughts.
And
Okay.
then if you can get outside, even if it's just for a couple of minutes midday, you can be under an overhang. Like you don't need to be directly in the sun, but just so that your eyes can be like, oh, hey, it's high noon. The sun is right above me. So
Mhm.
your body's like, okay, I know where we're at. And
Yeah.
then sometime towards dusk, getting back outside again for at least a few minutes, just so your body can be like, okay, melatonin should be rising, my cortisol should be down.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're prepping for nighttime. And then just try not to go indoors and have all the lights blaring, all the screens blaring blue light. Like
I
one by
really
one,
don't
we can
think.
slowly take care of those things.
Yeah. I
So
really
that's
do.
what I would say. And yeah, I think that wearing it, being covered all the time and being covered in sunblock all the time actually exacerbates the sun issue. And if you look at
Yeah.
other countries too, if you're just talking specifically on like a dermatology level of like protecting your skin,
Mhm.
yeah, I know the sun will age your skin. I'm not arguing with that. But I think we have a much stricter approach here in America than we need to. And if you look at studies, dermatological stuff in Australia, where they have like the most sun ever,
Yeah.
and they approach it at a much different wavelength. And they
Mhm.
approach it with, depending on where you're melanin is on your skin,
Mhm.
this is, your safety range of being outdoors. This is your safety range of
Yeah,
being.
yeah, that's how it should be.
Yeah, and there's
Mm.
even there's an app called D-Minder where you can log on, give it all your information, and it will tell you what the UVA is, what the UVB is in your area every
Mhm.
single day, and tell you when it's safe or not safe for you.
Mhm.
Okay.
Um, it's a great tangent. So I know a lot of people who have very different reactions to sun, like lupus. Um, and unfortunately, that's another thing that I think you really need to figure out on your own. Like, be mindful, check what the sun is doing in your area, et cetera, et cetera. However, and like I want to look young forever, so my face will have sunscreen. But um, I yeah, I would. There's some point like of my health journey where I was very active with sun and I would burn a lot. And there are some like now I'm pretty good with the sun. Like I've been on vacation recently and I was in Belize and I was in Mexico and I was great. I do sunscreen. Not all sunscreen is created equal. Not all sunscreen is not just a ball of chemicals that's gonna make you say, "Ugh." So mindful of that and protective clothing, that kind of stuff. Like I think everyone should have a point in the day, preferably early in the morning, that or morning in general, that's going to give you some good sun exposure for vitamin D synthesis. Okay. Need that. Then throughout the day, like I stay out of the sun during the highest point of the day as much as I possibly can. And that was for me. Everyone, figure this out. Don't come blaming me or Holly if you go outside and get burned today. That we didn't tell you to do that. The point is, definitely be honest with yourself. Even if you like love to sunbathe, it might not be for you. Like it might exacerbate. Like when I was at my sickest, I wrote everything down. Like I feel like this when I do this. Today I did this and I felt like that. At this time I felt like this. Keep a record. All of the things that we're talking about are our personal experience plus research that we have read or heard. Um, just like the seed oils things, I have no effect from seed oils. And I do know, like, some people are sensitive to certain things, and some people are not sensitive to those same exact sort of things. So some people jump on a bandwagon and say, like, I'm never eating this again. I'm never doing this again because it's bad. And then they have never read the research or talked to a source that's reputable or even done on themselves. Like it could be placebo effect either way, but placebo effect is good enough. Like let it be. But make sure you're actually getting the real research done on yourself. Don't just jump off the building and you're like, oh no, they said it would catch me. Like figure it out with thrall, reversible action and don't get crazy for real. Okay? But Holly, so listen, we got to reel it on in. That was a great tangent. I loved it so much. Well, if you have to leave this podcast and you want them to remember one thing that you said or have yet to say, what would you leave this audience with? Like, remember that episode with Holly? She said,
That many people in our situations with chronic illness, they think that their body's broken. I would say maybe your body just doesn't know what time it is.
I love that. I love that. That's
And
so good.
yeah, there's just so many different little subtle shifts that you can make that seem like nothing, but can add up to really big changes over time. And like you were saying earlier, um, do what works for you. Maybe going out in midday doesn't work for you. And I would say, yeah, absolutely. If it doesn't work for you right now, don't go out in the sun. Just go out under the shade somewhere so you can be outdoors for a few minutes, get the
Mhm.
fresh air, still get the light in your eyes,
Right.
and retest. Like, make some subtle shifts. Make some
Mhm.
subtle shifts. Don't think that that has to be forever.
Yeah.
I my bald spot was triggered from the sun and from the internal stress that I was going through at the time. Hands
Mhm.
down.
Yeah.
Now I am out in the sun all the time. So things are shiftable, they flow, they move. Nothing's permanent.
Woo! I love it. Mic drop. Mic drop. I love it. I love it. Thank you so, so much for being here. Like, I feel like we could talk on a million episodes about a million things because we are almost exact opposite of everything. And it's working for both of us. So thank you so much. This was a great episode. It was really fun.
Thank you. I had so much fun. I will do it again anytime.
Have a great day. Stay happily healed.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you again to Tenille for having me on her podcast and creating space for such a thoughtful and real life conversation. If there's one thing that I hope you take away from this episode, it's this. Your body may not be working against you, it might just be out of rhythm. And the beautiful part is that is something that you can begin to shift. With small, consistent changes, with curiosity, and with a willingness to learn what your body actually needs. And as we talked about in this episode, there's no one-size-fits-all approach, whether it's circadian rhythm, nutrition, or any other modality. It's about finding what works for you and building it from there. If you haven't yet, be sure to go listen to Tenille's episode on the Health Bridge podcast. And if this episode resonated with you, you don't have to figure this out alone. You can find my free daily Thrive Guide and wellness tracker in the show notes, or apply for a free health strategy session with me if you're ready to go a little bit deeper. Until next time, take a deep breath, give yourself grace, and keep building your bridge back to health.